Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. Get ready to dive into a world of pure terror because today, we're counting down the top 10 scariest movies ever made. Buckle up, horror hounds, because we're about to embark on a wild ride through cinematic nightmares that'll leave you sleeping with the lights on. From demonic possessions to vengeful spirits, we're leaving no tombstone unturned. That's right, folks, we're going international. So, grab your crucifix, your sage, whatever you need to feel safe because some of these films come from places where even the darkness fears to tread. Before we start though, a little disclaimer. This list is based on my personal nightmares, opinions. Let's do it. Kicking off our list at number 10, we have the granddaddy of possession movies, The Exorcist. This 1973 masterpiece unleashed pure terror upon the world, leaving audiences vomiting in the aisles and demanding exorcisms left and right. The story of young Regan McNeil's demonic possession is as horrifying as it is heartbreaking. William Friedkin's masterful direction, coupled with incredible performances from Linda Blair and Ellen Burstyn, drags you to the very depths of hell and back. Remember that crucifix scene? You know the one. Yeah, that's just a taste of the depravity The Exorcist throws at you. This movie isn't afraid to push boundaries, and it set the bar for demonic horror that few have dared to reach. Even after all these years and countless copycats, The Exorcist remains a terrifying and unforgettable cinematic experience. And it reminds us why we should never play with Ouija boards. Coming in at number 9 is Ari Aster's masterpiece of modern horror, Hereditary. This isn't your typical jump scare fest. Hereditary is a slow burn, but trust me, it's worth every agonizing minute. The film follows the Graham family as they grapple with the aftermath of their secretive grandmother's death. But as they delve deeper into their family history, they unearth a sinister legacy that threatens to tear them apart. Toni Collette delivers a career-defining performance as Annie Graham, a mother pushed to the brink of madness. Aster masterfully crafts an atmosphere of dread and unease that permeates every frame of this film. Hereditary isn't just a horror movie. It's a portrait of a family collapsing under the weight of their own secrets and inherited evil. And seriously, you'll never look at a tongue click the same way again. At number 8, we have a film that tapped into our primal fear of the unknown and crappy VHS tapes, Ringu, or as it's known in the States, The Ring. This Japanese horror classic unleashed a wave of terror upon the world with its simple yet effective premise. Watch a cursed videotape and you've got 7 days to live. The image of Sadako crawling out of the well, her long black hair obscuring her face, is forever seared into the nightmares of anyone who's seen this movie. But it's not just the imagery, it's the atmosphere, the slow creeping dread that permeates every frame of The Ring. Director Hideo Nakata masterfully builds tension through subtle scares and psychological torment. Sometimes all it takes is a creepy little girl, a cursed videotape, and the promise of an untimely demise. Hold on to your hats, kids, because at number 7, we're diving headfirst into your worst nightmares with Wes Craven's A Nightmare on Elm Street. This 1984 slasher classic introduced the world to Freddy Krueger, the razor-fingered boogeyman who haunts your dreams and claims your soul. Freddy is the epitome of childhood fears brought to life. He's the monster under the bed, the creepy guy in your closet, the voice that whispers your name when you're alone in the dark. But A Nightmare on Elm Street isn't just about jump scares and gruesome kills, though it has plenty of those. It's a film that explores the dark side of adolescence, the anxieties and insecurities that plague us all. Freddy preys on these fears, turning our dreams into our worst nightmares. The film's surreal and nightmarish visuals, coupled with Charles Bernstein's iconic score, create an unforgettable cinematic experience. And it taught us all that sometimes the only way to defeat your fears is to stay awake. Coming in at number 6 is The Conjuring, a film that tapped into our deepest fears of the paranormal and reminded us that sometimes the scariest stories are the ones rooted in reality. Loosely based on the case files of paranormal investigators Ed and Lorraine Warren, this 2013 supernatural horror flick will have you sleeping with the lights on. The film follows the Perron family as they move into their dream home, only to discover that it's already occupied by some very unwelcome guests. From the chilling hide-and-clap game to the terrifying basement discoveries, The Conjuring is packed with genuinely creepy moments that will have you on the edge of your seat. James Wan, the mastermind behind Saw and Insidious, knows how to craft effective scares, and he brings his A-game to The Conjuring. The film is beautifully shot with haunting visuals and a soundscape that will send chills down your spine. You genuinely care about these characters, and that makes their terrifying ordeal all the more effective. Hold on to your futons, folks, because at number 5, we're heading to Japan for a healthy dose of J-horror with Ju-on the Grudge. This 2002 masterpiece of terror unleashed a wave of creepy crawlies and vengeful spirits upon the world, and trust me, you'll never look at a cat the same way again. Ju-on. The Grudge is not for the faint of heart. It's a relentless assault on the senses, a symphony of unsettling imagery, spine-chilling sound design, and a pervasive atmosphere of dread that will leave you gasping for air. The film's premise is simple yet effective. A curse is born out of a moment of intense rage and lingers in a place, infecting anyone who crosses its path. Director Takashi Shimizu masterfully crafts a world where the line between reality and nightmare blurs. At number 4, we're dimming the lights and cranking up the volume for a found footage experience that redefined the genre Paranormal Activity. This 2007 sleeper hit terrified audiences with its raw, realistic approach to the supernatural, proving that sometimes the scariest things are the ones we can't explain. Shot on a shoestring budget with a cast of unknowns, Paranormal Activity tapped into our primal fear of the unknown, the things that go bump in the night. The film's brilliance lies in its simplicity. We're thrust into the lives of a young couple tormented by a malevolent presence in their home. Director Oren Peli masterfully builds tension through subtle scares, unexplained noises, and the growing sense that something sinister is lurking just beyond the frame. Number 3 on our list is a film that digs deep into the psychological horrors of grief, depression, and the monsters we create in our own minds. The Babadook. This 2014 Australian horror masterpiece is a chilling exploration of motherhood, mental illness, and the darkness that can consume us when we're at our most vulnerable. The Babadook follows Amelia, a widowed mother struggling to cope with the loss of her husband and raise her troubled son, Samuel. When a sinister children's book called Mr. Babadook appears in their home, it unleashes a terrifying presence that threatens to tear their already fragile world apart. The Babadook itself, with its top hat, long coat, and grotesque, elongated fingers, is a terrifying manifestation of Amelia's repressed grief and the darkness that threatens to consume her. Hold on to your innocence, folks, because at number 2, we're diving into a world where teenage angst and sexually transmitted demons collide in the most terrifying way imaginable. It Follows. This 2014 horror gem is a masterclass in slow-burn tension, haunting imagery, and the inescapable nature of our deepest fears. The premise of It Follows is simple yet terrifying. After a seemingly innocent sexual encounter, a young woman is pursued by a relentless entity that can take the form of anyone and can only be passed on through sexual contact. The entity is slow but unstoppable, always walking towards its victim, and the only way to escape it is to pass it on to someone else. Director David Robert Mitchell creates an atmosphere of constant dread and paranoia. The entity itself, often appearing as ordinary people going about their day, is all the more terrifying for its normalcy. And finally, the moment you've all been waiting for, the film that tops our list of the scariest movies ever made is The Texas Chainsaw Massacre. This 1974 exploitation classic is not for the faint of heart. It's a raw, visceral, and deeply disturbing film that redefined horror and continues to shock and terrify audiences to this day. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre follows a group of friends who stumble upon a family of cannibalistic killers in rural Texas. Led by the iconic Leatherface, a hulking brute who wears a mask made of human skin, this family of depraved individuals will stop at nothing to satisfy their bloodlust. Director Tobe Hooper masterfully crafts a world of grime, decay, and unrelenting horror. And Leatherface, with his chainsaw, his grotesque mask, and his childlike demeanor, remains one of the most iconic and terrifying villains in cinematic history. So there you have it. Horror Hounds, my picks for the top 10 scariest movies of all time. Did your favorites make the cut? Let me know in the comments below what movies still give you nightmares. And don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more horror content. I'm always on the lookout for the next big scare, so stay tuned for more creepy countdowns, chilling reviews, and terrifying tales from the crypt. Until next time, stay spooky.